Aloha, welcome to Java for Friday. This is February 9th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be a big weekend and there's quite a bit to go over, so let's go right into the markets. We've got the main risk indicator. The MMRI is pretty much stable and hovering right now, still in higher territory. However, if it stabilizes here, could be okay. We've got the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield both increasing. So the markets right now are in the green as well as the futures. We'll see if they can break through. They made an all-time high yesterday, but they are at resistance levels. So if we watch that 10-year yield as it goes higher, it can pressure stocks and possibly accelerate by the end of day. So we've got Friday rules in play with minor options expiry, watching the dragon, which is China, what their economy is doing. They're set for a bit of recovery. We've got the 30-year bond auction results, which came in very well. Actually, a lot of pension funds buying long-term loans at 30 years, and this is to kind of lock in their rates. They are expecting rate cuts, is what this is saying, so they want to lock in this higher interest levels. We are expecting inflation data ahead and revisions of the CPI numbers, which could be huge. So on our calendar, Saturday is the Chinese Lunar New Year of the Dragon, Super Bowl Sunday. We've got PepsiCo earnings came in up today, so it's positive for them. We've got AMC earnings coming in and space. So Virgin Galactic had an issue. I expect them to go down. Low in economic calendar, mostly oil, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And this is my Chinese Dragon with commercial real estate burning AI version. So hope you like that. Anyway, we've got a cold snap in the UK. So what's going on here is they're going to need more for heating, basically. And I'm wishing you all over there some extra hot Java if you're watching this from over there. So in short, China's stock market poised for a turnaround. We're watching this. Could affect the markets and the strength of the dollar here. That's why. So we've got treasury market shifts focused to inflation numbers after the auction bonanza yesterday did go really well. So we'll see those CPI revisions and go from there. We also had jobless claims drop. So this is in the numbers they're going off of, disconnected from reality of what's actually going on. But since they're using these numbers to kind of push their narrative. So Janet Yellen warning of high prices here to stay. After all of the talk about temporary, and then they started talking about everything they're doing so it wouldn't become entrenched. We know inflation was always set to continue. This is a big part. We've got US public debt forecast to hit 116% of GDP. So the debt is outpacing what we're producing in the United States. Not good, can't work out, unsustainable. So we've got a Reserve Bank chief finally coming out issuing warnings about future of cash that's not the US dollar. However, the US dollar will follow. It will be probably the last to fall. However, they're talking about redesigning their banknotes. All banknotes are IOUs, if you understand that. So anyway, we've got ECB's Kazakhs talking about bets on a spring rate cut, looking optimistic. So this is bringing out and starting the public to kind of get back into the rate cuts. I do believe the ECB will have to cut first, or at least the same time as the US. US cannot cut rates first. They would decimate the euro. So we've got Yellen expecting bank stress due to commercial real estate losses. So the big takeaway from this is that she's saying she doesn't anticipate the bad commercial real estate loans to become a systemic risk. You should ask why. So the reason is because they've already set up what we were talking about, their fall banks, small to medium-sized banks, that they are going to concentrate these loans in packages, sell to particular banks that they have already chosen. These banks will fail as they were designed and started for, and then sell those notes for pennies on the dollar to the mega banks, namely JP Morgan Chase and others. So we will have more bank failures. There's lots of trouble in the system, but they've designed it so that certain ones will take the fall. Anyway, and I'm trying to look through and dig through data to find the weak banks and see if we can kind of catch this and be early. At any rate, if we go back over the pond, collapse in demand, meaning no relief for the Dublin office market until 2027. So it's a slow grind out, just like 2008, 2007, 2008. They basically put it on a slow grind, and the pain lasted until 2012. I expect them to do that again. So we've already kind of started this recession. So jumping over to oil, we've got a shale producer, Devon Energy, which I'm actually fond of their stock. I've been buying a bit of them for a while. I talked about them a while ago. They're going to acquire Enerplus. That should be positive for them. They've got a good, strong dividend. So buying them on the dips for the long term, meaning several months to years to longer. We've got oil heading for weekly gains after Israel rejected the ceasefire offer. So these tensions are creating a jump. I was talking about liquid natural gas before. It is called the Widowmaker, so be cautious on purchasing these. I'm in for longer term. So short trades, watch these very volatile. However, that's the state at the moment. So we've got the current US administration announcing another $5 billion commitment for research and development of computer chips. So government, in my opinion, should not be stepping into the private sector. Private sector can handle these things much more easily and much more efficiently. So whenever they get backstopped by the government, can't feel, they get a little lazy, in my opinion. So moving on, we've got SoftBank-backed Cohesity to buy Veritas Security Unit, creating another $7 billion firm. So moving forward, we've got data and data security becoming huge businesses. So I'll just move on from this because there's a lot to unpack in that. We've got Roche moving over to basically pharma and healthcare. They're cutting jobs in product development. So as I was saying, private sector can handle this a lot better. However, they are majorly backstopped by the United States government with their funding. So that's all inflationary and all adding to that debt. Anyway, going over, talking about the Russia-China trade, local currencies dominating what they're doing. Now they're trading over 90% between the two countries. So what they're doing is bolstering their trade. They're also purchasing other currencies, which it means they're floating out their currencies to other countries to strengthen their reserves, strengthen their currencies and their reserves. So the story, we spoke about this a little bit yesterday. Germany is basically taking control of one of the local subsidiaries of gas and energy, Rosneft. So they're talking about taking that over. Basically, same thing United States did, and this is not a good move. So this is talking about trade that they've increased with the friendly states. EU will be locked out, and Russia does produce good part of this energy that they need. So these are the countries they are listing that they are doing quote unquote friendly. China, India, Egypt, UAE, of course. So their business and economy is booming. So moving over to a shift to weapons, because now war is the big economy coming in. We've got the US has new missile system that they're exporting to Ukraine. It is basically small diameter, and this is the story. I'll try to put the links in the description, but sometimes YouTube takes them out, even though they are legitimate. It doesn't like them for some reason. So anyway, we've also got China unveiling. These are terrible. They're killing people. But anyway, microwave weapons. It's all part of war. There's a little more details on that. So we had Tucker Carlson, this huge news. He did do an interview with the Russian president. And the reason they're talking about that is because they have turned down other mainstream medias because everyone realizes, other than obviously Americans, that the mainstream media is poisoned, biased, and not reporting. So he did grant this interview, which they put out on X, formerly known as Twitter. And this is just one example. Meta blacklisted the Ayatollah. So yes, I agree there needs to be some watching, particularly for minors. However, cutting out media so that Americans cannot decide for themselves in this nanny state, I disagree with, because I like to have news and I like to see the truth and decide for myself. So anyway, got a couple of lava updates. We have Huawei, is a Chinese company. Research is saying that giving artificial intelligence a body is the next step toward human level agents. So I want to pair all of these stories together. So with that, we've got the world's first 3D printed neural tissue growing and functioning like a human brain. So this is advancing very rapidly too. And then this guy again, but anyway, not a fan. Sam Altman. So OpenAI plans to make ChatGPT a super smart assistant by getting the bot to use your computer for you. So pair that with giving it a body, neural tissue, and I think this picture is funny. She's off in her own world, looks like his assistant, and all he's thinking about is how he's going to fire her. So more cost-cutting measures. So this is the link. I'm also going to try to put this in with that. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Have a green trading day, just a wonderful day in general. And until I see you again, my friends, as always, stay free.